This is where the fun begins.
Announcement for my channel, O.G.Starwars. Channel members have a chance to win a copy of Son of Kifu starting now in November through January just by coming on and supporting live streams. Your name will be entered to win a copy of this wonderful painting. So I encourage you, channel members, to come and support, as this is a way of giving back to you. If you are not a channel member, then what are you waiting for? Our last channel member, Miss Martin Muses, is the one who won Mistress of Rat Attack. Congratulations. And I shall chat with you guys later. See you in the live streams. Have a good day. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Coffee Chat. And I'm excited to be here with you. Again, I am going solo today. No Stig. I am sorry. Yeah, so he is decided to sit this one out, and so he will be missed. And let's go ahead and see who's in the chat. I'm way on the bottom. I'm trying something new here. So hello, just a tiny little me. We have Ms. Darth Toriel, the elf, and she's been sitting here and waiting for the show to begin and enjoying some water. So she is drinking a large bottle of Voss water, which I was saying, Quinlan Voss water, he, because we all know she loves Quinlan Voss. And so she laughs about that. And then we have Zacharat315. Good morning to you. And what's in your mug? And let me know what you're enjoying, your beverage. And then we have Annihilus. Hello. And then bleh, I hopefully I said that right. And then we have Master of the TDS. Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Yes, we're getting started here. And yeah, it's Coffee Chat, and I am excited to be here with you. We are continuing on and finishing up the wrong side of the war, which is amazing. We get to see, Luke and his team of insurgents going in at the rebel base to free Saul, and also now slaves. And so we'll get to see what happens with him and his friend, because his friend, he discovered, is working or a part of the Empire now. So that's really exciting. And we also get the Imperial perspective as well. And then Annihilus, I hate being sick, but I am here to say good morning and have some ginger tea to calm the throat. I'm so sorry. I hope that you get better. All right. And then Zaggerot, tea in my mug. Awesome. And then Annihilus. The real question is there ever a right side to the war, right? That's the thing, and speaking of all this, happy Veterans Day to all our men and women who has served our country. Thank you so much. You are greatly appreciated for giving your time in that portion of your life, whether you made it a career, like a full-on career for your entire life, and retired or not. You are greatly appreciated for everything you've done so far for our country, whether peacetime or not. Thank you so much. And you are greatly appreciated. So thank you. And then yesterday was the Marine Corps' birthday, and my family's a Marine Corps family. So thank you again to those who have served. And the Master of the TDS, glad I could make it. Been a crazy week, and I could use a break. Yes, well, thank you. Excuse me, there goes my throat already. Yeah, so I'll wait here a couple more minutes for more people to drop in. And I really don't have any news other than I did see someone post that the Kenobi trailer for the Kenobi series, or the Obi-Wan series, is supposed to drop Friday or tomorrow, I'm guessing. I don't like this view here. Let me change this a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, so that's the rumor. And you know how I feel about rumors, but I know maybe some of you guys are going to follow along out of curiosity, and that's fine. So let me know if you watch it. I may watch it anyways out of curiosity, because I like to compare and contrast between both of the lores, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with anybody liking both sides if they do, or even if they are staying with George Lucas era of Star Wars, liking only that and comparing to the other one to give a bigger, broader perspective between the both. And let's see here. And then hello everyone from Eric Draven. How are you doing? Good morning. From Kelly. And then Master of the TDS, I'm dreading it, honestly. Yeah, when you get something good, when you realize George's vision for for Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we get it already, we already had it in the original lore, then sometimes you always want to stay with the good material, right? And that's okay. That's okay. So, reading Kenobi, reading the Legend of Obi-Wan Kenobi, and also the Last of the Jedi series, and knowing that Kenobi basically took care of everything from the beginning and hunkered down in his exile, and then later, yes, he did, run into on Tatooine, run into Asherad Het, or and end up, sending him on his way. So, I mean, so it is what it is, So, Annihilus, I saw this weird video where an X-Wing was dodging the Star Wars logo as it was flying by. Makes me wonder if that's just a fact of life for these guys. I don't know. That's crazy. And Darth Toriel, I'll see the trailers. Yeah, so will I. I'm not the one to really, really break down series. Like, I tried it with The Mandalorian out of curiosity and out of comparing and contrasting and all that. I tried it with The Mandalorian for a season. I gave up, and I really don't like doing like trailer reviews either. That's just not my thing. But I will talk about it on Twitter, and that's okay. And I point out inconsistencies and stuff like that, and that's still okay. I mean, my opinion cannot change yours unless you allow it, and I don't have power over you to make you like what I like, right? Or dislike something or whatever. You're gonna like whatever you like, and that's fine. And then let's see here. And yeah, we have no idea what it is, but it does that sometimes. You get used to it. So there we go. It does that sometimes. You get used to it. Yeah. And one of my latest short videos I did, because I'm doing a series, I'm going through the Audibles, and right now I'm going through Legacy and finding pivotal scenes to clip and share on my channel. And so let me see here. Right here, I am on this one right here, and I'm going through there to see. Let me blow up this up to see what I want to clip from Revelation to share on my YouTube channel for you guys. This is just to give you guys a little bite-sized pieces of the series, of the novel, get anybody excited to read it or pick it back up, or we even talk about it in the comments. And that's what that's about. So the last one I did was when Luke Skywalker was caving in on himself, and he was basically succumbing to attachment and not knowing what to do with himself because he lost his wife, right? And that's in Fury. And his son, Ben Skywalker, is the one that basically pulled him out of that mentality, that state. And so it's a great perspective on attachment, and it's a great perspective too on how I think, and you guys can agree with me or not, that the old Jedi Order got attachment wrong. And so go ahead and check that video out. So let's see here. Anybody else coming in? So what's in your mug here? And again, those channel members that are coming in, your name is now being taken down and put in for the drawing to win a copy of Son of Kifu. And I won't play the video again. I'll just show the clip. There we go. So there you go. So it's not done. It's right behind me. It's not fully done yet. Sometimes it takes me a little while. I get picky on details sometimes. I'm like, okay, I want to redo this part here. Or I want to make the color more vivid here, what have you. So, but this is just a glimpse of it. In fact, the lightsaber is a lot brighter now than it is in this picture here. So if you could tell the difference, it's a lot brighter. And I like doing lightsabers. I really, really do. I love painting lightsabers because I love the shiny metal parts of the saber handle. And then I like the glowy part. The glowy part, huh? I like the blades. Let's see here. Let's see here. And then Darth Turiel says, that one was great. Yep. And then everything is a tree's fault. And then a tree pushed the hardest for the no attachment rule in the Old Republic era, ergo the Empire a tree's fault. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. We see the evolution of the order, right? We see the evolution of all that. And then finally when we get into the new Jedi Order, or when we get into Luke's era and he, ascends into Grand Master, they I guess you could say do away with some of the thinking. They still talk about attachment and how it can cripple you and everything, but they have a broader perspective of it. And they've proven, basically the old order thinking about it was wrong. So there we go. So there's my 2 cents on that. So if you agree, that's cool. What else do you guys think? Have you guys read Legacy of the Force series? Let me know in the chat. So if you guys were with me, and go ahead and like and share this out so people could start dropping in. I do set on my Twitter, I do set posts to come out, or scheduled to be posted and ahead of time, so I don't have to worry about it. So what if I'm sleeping in, the post will be posted, oh, coffee chat in an hour kind of deal. So yeah. Oh, Laura likes to glow. Goodness gracious. Yeah. So, all right. So let's go ahead and get started. Yeah. It's, if you guys are friends with Stig on Twitter, just go ahead and say hi to him. He's still healing and all this. Yes, Matt Wilkins, no Stig. He's all, this is awesome. I said, you're fired. No, I'm joking. Yeah. And I seen, Matt, that you are doing your rereads and you did your review on Dawn of the Jedi, I believe. I seen that this morning pop up. So and I did listen to most of it, and then I commented on your video. So it's kind of interesting. Not bad, just interesting. All right. So again, if you guys were following along, we are going on to the last half, or the last part of The Wrong Side of the War. And let me go ahead and get into that here. And so we left off with, shit. Okay, sorry. Where the hell am I? Okay, I think this is the one we left off at. I hate when my mouse does that. Nope, I did something wrong here. Okay, Laura, get your act right. But yeah, there we go. We left off with Luke running into his buddy from Tatooine that he grew up with, and he called him Tank, right? So we know him as a Tank through Luke. And he's like, Luke, oh my God, and he's like, I recognize that walk anywhere, blah, 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 blah. And then Luke's like, holy shit, kind of deal. And then so now get into that. And so we have right here, Soul, he's still, getting a beating and stuff because he's their prisoner. And let's get into this. Wake up, Soul. So he was sleeping. What a way to be woken up, right? Just slap across the face and, all your slobbers and now you're bleeding and all that, gets swung across the room and everything. There will be no rest for you until I am satisfied with your choice. Choose wisely, and the pain will end and you can sleep. Otherwise, we will send you back to Lord Vader. Man, these guys are just really tearing into him. Look at that. And then we have Zed, or whatever her name is, Z-U-U-D, Zed, Zood. And he's like, no, he's not giving in. He's got a strong will. So if anything, this character has a strong will. And then she's like, no, we don't want that either, Doran. But we must have your decision. Man, so they're really giving him a hard time right now. And just like I said, in this little series here, we get the Empire's perspective, right? And then we also get to see the good and the bad within the Empire. And we did see, Kalen or whatever his name is, wanting to have his way with one of the prisoners. And that's, so that is, yeah. So like I said, we see the good and the bad, the good, bad, and the ugly, right? And quickly, there's not much time left now. And so they are hustling here. They have to stay on their mission. They're stealing fuel from the base there as well, so that, and so that the rebel lines can have fuel. We've less than 8 or 11 hours, Captain. And then so they're in a little room there, and they're chatting right here. And somehow in that time we have to finish planting our explosives, take on the rest of the fuel, be in position to spring Seoul, and now rescue hundreds of prisoners as well. So they're still kind of conflicted with the rescuing the prisoners, because that's another huge task, you know, on their mission as well. Do you suppose that you were chosen for this mission, Basso, because it would be easy? So they're questioning each other, like there's none of this is easy, right? None of this is easy. And we have given our word to Rebel Alliance to rescue Jordan's soul, or die trying. As for the other prisoners, well, we can hardly turn our backs on so many of our fellow sentients, can we? So there we has a good perspective on that. Why should we turn our backs on these people? This is the reason why we're rebelling against the Empire, right? Is because they enslave people too. But the Imperials can't kill us more than once. He's got a point there. I will plant the last of the explosions. And then he goes on to say, thank you, Mouse. Just make sure you're back here before the divisionary force arrives. So there you go. There we go. So we are picking off where we left off. Let's see here. And then we have Jedi Knight Lego. Awampy 3PO is the Awamp best 3PO. Oh, wow. That's a mouthful. This name is from a while ago. Well, hello. And then hello, Soul Assassin. Please hit the like button. Yes, please. And share. Let them know that we are live and we are going over the last of this comic here. So if you're curious what happens with Luke and his friend and this mission, then come on in. All right. And then Darth Turiel, she's saying hello. And then Jedi Knight. Hey, Darth. So thank you guys again. All right. So let's get back to this. Okay. And then so again, like they said, they're just debriefing about the mission again. And then so he says, my apologies, Captain. I'm not worried about my own safety. And so we have Dina coming in right now, and that's the whole mission and what it's become. We're risking a lot more than our own lives. Yeah, he's got a point there. But again, we see that both sides risk a lot more than what they expect, right? I tried to warn you about making the slaves a part of this, Sarge. So we have the clone Abel, I guess his name is. If I remember, Abel, saying, hey, I tried to warn you. That's enough, Trooper Abel. The decision has been made, and it's too late to back out now, though I wish we could inform Alliance headquarters about the change in plans without tipping off the Imperials. Still, as long as we have the elements of surprise on our side, there's reason to believe we can succeed. I'd be more confident if I knew where Sean and Skywalker were. And she says, I'm right here. But, so we do see her coming up the steps. And, of course, they don't know until she arrives there, right? Luke ran into into somebody he knew, an Imperial Lieutenant from Tatooine. So they're like, what? And here we go. So now we go back to that. So this is going to be interesting here. So they're chatting away here. So yeah, I've seen some action, um, Meriden being the worst of it. But like I said, I don't expect to end up in the infantry, and Imperial service hasn't been all I thought it would be. Okay. So he's telling Luke all about his experience right here. And he's the one that basically, if you haven't caught on, that stopped that guy from messing with a woman prisoner and all that, and he's the one that is a little bit conflicted about um some of the orders that he's receiving and stuff like that, and what he's seen in the Empire. But what about you, Luke? You must have had some adventures too, seen anything of the rebellion? And then Luke's like, well, a few times, So Luke is not really giving himself away just yet. Of course you have. You made pilot, didn't you? And of course that refers back to Luke being a good pilot and them knowing him as being a pilot and flying his T-16 Skyhopper. Oh, sure. So we go where they send us, right, still you're living the life. And Luke basically says, yeah, I fly a fighter most of the time, but sometimes I'm given other assignments, so he's not trying to give himself away just yet, I guess you could say, or in but you could tell Luke's conflicted, like, what the hell do I do in this situation? It's not so different from what you've been through, so his friend Tank, basically, we know that's his nickname, his buddy name. Hey, what about Biggs? Do you ever run into him? I knew he made pilot, so now we get into Biggs. And Luke says Biggs is dead. So we get back to that. So we kind of understand now that these two, like, there was a group of friends, and he was one of the people in the group of friends for Luke. And Matt G, hello, how are you doing? Hell 9? Hell 9, Matt G, how are you doing? How are you doing? All right, so let's get back to the comic here. And so as we go along, I'm going to come back and forth to the comic and the chat. So if you guys have any questions or want to say anything specifically that you notice with the comic, or just chat about the comic, go ahead and, interact otherwise. And then O.G.Starwars just subbed. Thank you so much for, supporting the channel. That's amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let's do this. Okay, so he tells him that Biggs is dead, and that's pretty sad. That's we get into a bit of history here. All right, so I didn't know, and look at his face. What happened? And then so Luke says he was shot down by an enemy fighter. It happened above Yavin 4. And then Tank says, I heard about that action. Something big. The higher ups won't talk about it. Some kind of new space station or something. So I guess, we at this point, the lower half of the Empire, and stuff like that, they don't know too much about the Death Star. Too much details, I guess you can say. And then Luke says, yeah, something like that. The Alliance destroyed it. A lucky shot, but Biggs didn't live to see it. He was killed saving my life. So he was basically, he's telling the truth here, but he's into a certain point of view. And that's that little perspective here from, Obi-Wan. Oh, a certain point of view. And so Tank says, he went out a hero. And Luke says, yes. And then Luke's over there contemplating. He's like, man, I need, I want to connect with my friend, but I want to, convince him maybe to go to the Alliance. He's conflicted here. Luke's conflicted because he's got a friend who is serving the Empire, right? And then he's all, look, Tank. And he's a hot Tank. Nobody's calls me that anymore. It's been a long time since I was the biggest, in fact. Yeah. So, and then Luke, or he goes on to say, there's another lieutenant I'm in battalion, a guy whose name is Clint. Okay, so I think I called him something else, but his name is Clint, who's a good head taller than I am, and built like a bread knot. He tried to bully me, and he tried to make one of the women prisoners tried to make her, and so he doesn't really want to talk about it, but so we know what happened. We knew what happened. It's stupid, but I never thought about it before I joined the service, but I didn't know the empire has slaves, humans, and not just prisoners of war. I never thought about it. And he goes on to confess to Luke some more. My grandfather was a slave, I can't imagine what he'd say if he could see me now. And so it seems like, people from Tatooine, they are descendants from slaves at one point or whatever. At least that's what we can get from this. Because Luke, his father was one, right? And Tank here, his grandfather was. And then so Luke goes on to say, Tank, Janek, he's all Tank, and then he's all Janek. What do you think about being in the Imperial service? So now he's wearing him down a little bit. What do you do when your orders call for you to do something that you know isn't right? So basically he's putting this moral standards question on him, like, okay, so if you feel that it's not morally right, what do you think about that? And then so now we skip ahead, and we know that the Dina and and a few of them implanted that the Rebel Alliance made a base on Thila. Thila, like I said, my language, we say Tila, not Thila. So when we have the TH next to each other. So they go and investigate about the base there, finding the Rebel base. And so here we are, we're on Tila. Lieutenant Klin reports, it's a base, all right, or it was, but it looks deserted now. And then so they're investigating here. They crawl down into the little entrance port there, or whatever that is, and the hole in the ground. And we're forming up squads to search the tunnels. And then he's like, copy. And then they say, carry on, Lieutenant Klin. Keep an eye out for anything that will be of interest to intel. And he's like, copy. So they're investigating this base that was reported to them. And then all of a sudden he says, move out, so they basically trigger a booby trap or, explosion there. So there we go. And then, oof, what? And then it's a trap, basically a trap. I'm so used to saying it's a trap. A trap. Sir, are you all right? What happened? I led my men into a trap. I should have been more careful. She warned me. And that's him thinking in his mind. Warned, but how could she know? No, not warned. Set up. So this is the guy that basically is with Dina. So they had their little romantic encounter, I guess you could say. And so now he's realizing, and Dina kind of told him everything, and but he still went. And we have seen her, like a little image of her, like, what have I done? So there you go. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. And let's see, Jedi Knight. I really like the artwork. Yeah, it's pretty good artwork for this comic here. Tried her. And let's see, what's going on here. And he said, oh yeah, everybody's not used to your name. Yeah, you're like, yes, that's me. Yes, it's Lady Toriel. She crossed to the dark side as a Sith during talking EU with Abu Nas Monday. So that's what happened. Yeah, so she's Darth Toriel, the elf. And so there you go. It is her. It is her. And I love it. I love it. All right. Let's get back to the comic here. And again, you guys can interact in the chat there. And I will be going back and forth between the pages and the chat since I'm writing solo today. All right. So here we go. So we have Zud with Soul, and let's see what's going on. And so basically he says, this is an important prisoner, ma'am. Are you certain you don't want to accompany him to the landing pad? And she just says, that won't be necessary, Lieutenant. She says, I have every faith in your abilities. And he's all, yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And so now they are transporting him away from the base now. And look sharp now and march. And so, they're getting ready to leave. And then, are you sure this will work? Oh, yes, absolutely. So you're getting ready to take him from the base here. And then we have R2 right here. Beep, beep, whoop. And he's basically, noticing something, and he's alerting. And they ask him, what's wrong with him? Steady, little fella. You come unplugged now, and the Imperials will discover that we've drained their fuel tanks instead of fueling them. Can you see what's gotten him so excited, Basso? And he's like, yeah. And so they go ahead and check him out. And it's not good news. Jorn Sol is being moved to landing pad 7B. Now he's to be transported to Coruscant. And then he's like, so soon? So that's the thing. They're there to rescue him. They're there to get fuel. And now they have an added task of rescuing the slaves, right? And so now they're taking him, leaving with him sooner than expected. So that cuts the mission short significantly. So, all right, we go now. They're moving our target from his cell to landing pad 7B. You've got to intercept him before he reaches his destiny. So now they got to go take action, right? Captain, we're not ready. The strike force won't launch for hours yet. So now things are getting heated now. Dun dun dun. And we don't have hours just to do your job. We didn't come far to fail. What about the slaves? Saving them has always gone saving them was always going to be a long shot. That doesn't mean we won't try, but you've got to focus on Jorn Sol. So their main mission is Jorn Sol. Let me worry about the air support and leave the slaves to Skywalker. So now they're all there, basically planning everything, because now their mission has shortened, as because of the fact that they're moving Sol now. And they're just having a little banter there or whatever. And then so he runs in and sees Dina. Warm up the engines, get everything ready for takeoff on my word. And she's like, what's going on? I'll be in the comm room. Keep your blaster close at hand. So now they have to break comm silence here. And then so now we are in the facility, and let's see what's going on. Mouse, do you read me? And he's like, Captain, some things bad must have happened for you to break calm silence. And he's like, you're right about that. And he's like, drop it. All right, we need to move up our timetable. I need to detonate the first wave of divisionaries in 5 minutes. So now he's telling them that, hey, we need to speed this shit up now. That might not be possible, Captain. And then he's like, who are you talking to? And then another one says, what's in the case? So basically we have Mouse. This is Mouse here. And now he's getting surrounded by other stormtroopers, not from their insurgent group there. And why does your voice sound funny? Okay, so here we go. Yeah, what's wrong with his voice? Make him take off his helmet off. And they're all, remove your helmet, trooper. And then, he's still talking on the comm. We have no choice, Mouse. The Imperials are moving Sol now. And here we go. Mouse, do you copy? And they're like, what? You thought humans had the corner on good looks? So there you go. So he has been discovered by some Imperial troops there. Writing solo phrasing, Alora. Right? And let's go here. No one can ever change their name as many names as me. Wahahaha. Yes, you will always be the elf. Yes, that's why you've kept it as well. And I love it. So you have a bit of, you have a bit of elf in Star Wars. Look at that. I love it. Let's see here. All right. All right. So let's go on. Whoopsie, wrong button. Okay. And then so now he commences in fighting and he runs and they're like, stop him. And then, you know, in his comm, you can hear Mouse, come in, Mouse. And then they're like, what's the problem? An authorized transmission, sir. Sir, something about a mouse moving up and a timetable, then shouting. That kind of sounds funny. And then they say, General, I receive a message from the Captain Rocher on the emergency channel. It was garbled, but it sounded like he was saying, and then we'll go on with that. And then in the blue box, there are rebel agents here on the base. So basically, they're all getting tipped off and alarmed. And so we have Luke and his buddy, Janek here, our tank. And so Janek says, you know, Luke, I would never mention this to anybody else, but sometimes I think the Empire. And he goes, oh, and he goes like, no, never mind. And then so Luke says, Tank, it's me. You can tell me anything. And then, you know, Tank goes, really? He's all, believe me, I have my own doubts about the Empire. And so we get more into the conversation. This gets really interesting, you guys. That's why I like this little series here. It gets really interesting because we have perspective of the Empire. And, you know, and then Luke, you know, Luke and his friend and how this war has split up friends, I guess you can say, friendships. That doesn't sound like the kid I remember. He goes, no, half measured with you. You led with your heart. So he's like questioning Luke, like, because Luke has always had his heart on his sleeve. He's always like led with his heart and done things wholeheartedly. And if you did something, you did it all the way. So he's like telling us what, you know, how he's seen Luke and how he knows of Luke. And I think it's very interesting because again, he's like, you did it all the way. You did it led with your heart. You did it wholeheartedly. You had morals, blah, 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 blah. And the new lore, Luke is the opposite. And I'll just say that Luke is the opposite in the new lore. And, you know, basically he turns his back on everybody. He doesn't do everything wholeheartedly. You're not getting old and cynical on me, are you? And then so Luke says, when did you get so by the book? You were always the first one to bend or break the rules. So we're getting a little bit of like, you know, how they knew each other, right? Yeah, well, I learned the hard way that you can't do that in the infantry, not if you want to get out of the trenches. And then he goes on to tell Luke, and I saw how much good order and discipline did me. I figured it's got to be good for the rest of the galaxy. And then Luke questions him, or basically, yeah, he questions, even if it means turning innocent people into slaves, even if it means killing them, you know, so Luke has a point there. And then so he goes on to say, Luke goes on to say, think about where you came from. Think about your family, your grandfather. Will the things you're being asked to do make life better for them? You've admitted to me that you have misgivings about the Empire. Why not do something about it? And then he questions Luke, like what, Luke? I don't know how things operate in your section of the Corps, but in the infantry, complaining to one superior officer about his orders or words, or worse, orders from higher up, is asking for a quick trip back to foot soldier status. And then Luke says, stop thinking like a soldier and think for yourself. I'm not talking about questioning orders. I'm talking about ignoring them in order to do what's right. You have a choice, Tank. And then he's like, a choice, Luke? What choice? What choice do I have? And then he goes on to say, you could join the rebellion. And he stars, Luke. And then, so we go on to this other scene now. So now we have Mouse running here and he hides. So they're following him. The alarms are going off, or no, not the alarms. That's basically the blaster bolts hitting the wall there. Where'd he go? I think he went this way. Careful, he could be anywhere. And then down this way. And so he's, hiding in the corner there, and he has his little pad here, and he's getting ready to detonate everything. And he's like, ready. Detonation protocols require that you enter the 10-digit passcode. And so it's telling him what to do. And they're like, what the heck? Okay, he's probably over here. All right, so let's go into chat, see what's going on here. And it looks like Fuck Norse taking the easy path to the dark side. There we go. And then Jedi Knight here. I have to go do some things, unfortunately, but I'll leave your stream playing in the background, O.G.Starwars. My name is so true that I love the stream. You have a really great voice. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let me take a drink and I'll cheers to that. I don't have my camera on, but I'm cheering to that with my mug of coffee. And I'm going to take a sip. All right. So what do you guys think so far? Like, with the perspective of the Empire, we get to see the perspective of Janek, or who is Luke's friend that they called Tank, right? And then we get to see, the rebels basically stealing fuel to help with their, because they don't have their own home base anything yet. This is like 8 months after the Battle of Yavin, so they're not even settled on Hoth yet. And I think it takes them like 3 years to fully settle, or like less than 3 years to fully settle on Hoth. That's the timeline. So, they have to find resources. They have to steal resources. And we've seen that in other comics. They have to steal resources to get by. And some planets do support them. But if planets do it publicly support them, it could, have the Empire's wrath down on them, right? So let's go on with this. All right. All right. So he detonates. He sets everything to detonate. The pad is speaking to him, and the stormtroopers hear it. What was that? What just happened? And he's like, someone just sent an outbound signal from the base. And then basically a coded burst too short to trace. There he is. So they find Mouse because he's setting off the detonation. They're setting, they're getting everything ready. They need to leave. They need to fulfill their mission. They need to leave. They need to get out of there. They've been discovered. And so Mouse basically is found as well. And basically they shoot him in the back, but the detonation protocol is activated now. So he fulfills his mission and he does give his life. So rest in peace, Mouse. Rest in peace. All right. So now let's get back to Tank and Luke. Tank, listen to me. Right is always right. It's not a matter of who is giving orders. You're suggesting treason. And then Luke goes on to say, I'm asking you to do what's right. And so we see, Tank wavering a little bit. He's thinking. And then basically he gets a comm signal. Attention, all personnel. Rebel agents have infiltrated the base. All hands to battle stations. And then he's like, Luke, you're one of them. And he's like, Tank. So he's still trying to, convince Tank to cross over to the Rebel Alliance. And then, of course, we see an explosion from Mouse setting off the detonation here. So we have that there. So they're feeling it. And he's like, you. And so he socks Luke in the face. And then Luke returns back a hit in the face, a punch in the face. So we have the friends right here. And then he tells Tank, I'm sorry. And then Luke's comm is going off. Luke, do you copy? And he's like, I am here, Captain. What's going on? It's too early for. And then they tell him, change of plans. The imps forced our hand by moving so earlier than expected. And then he tells him, listen, if we're going to save any of the prisoners, it's going to be up to you. And then he's like, so Luke starts running, and they continue to tell him, if you got a plan, now is the time. So there we go. So that is that was comic 4 out of the 5-part little series here. Let's see here. And then, hey, Emmanuel Goldstein, just watch the Chrissy Myers video about LOL dolls. One of the base girls at the end was trying to point out the fact that the CEO of that company is a small hat every damn time. Well, interesting. And then Annihilus Luke should know better than to copy. All right. Okay, that was my last bad joke of the day, I promise. Excuse me. That's okay. It's okay. Jokes, good jokes, or whatever, just have a way to have us laugh. Yeah, so yeah. All right. So that is the comic number 4 here. So we get an idea about who Janek, our tank, is to Luke. They grew up with each other in Tatooine. He does have a family history of his grandfather being a slave, possibly on Tatooine during that time frame, because we know back in that PT era and even before, and maybe even now in Luke's generation, I'm not sure. But there was that slave trade that was going on, and Tatooine was, part or was included because it was controlled by Hutts, right? Because it was controlled by Hutts. And so I find that interesting. And then Luke knows his friend has a good heart, and knows that he wouldn't settle, for what the Empire's doing. And but his friend already is far into being, in the infantry and stuff like that, and liking the discipline and stuff like that, and liking the order and having order and structure, that he's willing to give up his morals, I guess you can say. And you can even tell me what you think about this. Willing to give up his morals structure, his own innate moral structures, to be a good soldier, right? So there we go. And then all right, so let's move on. Move along. All right. So now we see, all the areas being detonated, going off with explosions and stuff, and they have to get the hell out of there. They have to start moving now, right? They have to start moving now. The Imperial base on Kalist 4, I believe that's 4, is under attack from within and by the enemy of whom none are certain. You see the explosion, a big old boom. Confusion in the ranks is exacerbated by the fact that most of the base fighting troops were sent off planet on the mission to Tila system to their deaths. So we already know that, of course, that was a trap, and a lot of them got caught up in the trap and were killed. A fact on which the attackers are counting. And then so now we have him saying, Sergeant, fall in with my squad. We have to get this rebel spy to the shuttle bay. So now they got to hustle. And then these orders come straight from top. This prisoner is going to Lord Vader himself. But I already have my orders, Lieutenant. And so they, here they go. And so look what's happening here. These guys are hustling to get him to the bay, the shuttle. And then these guys are like, well, I already have my orders. And they're beginning to lift their rifles up at him. And they shoot him to relieve you and your prisoner. And so basically they shoot down the stormtroopers here, and they rescue Soul. So now they have Soul in position, or in their possession. Is Soul all right? Okay. Ditch the helmets. We don't want to be shot by our own troops. So now they're going ahead to take off the helmets. They don't want to be shot. And I guess that makes sense. Okay. So here we go, Janek. is now, waking up from his little tiff with Luke. Like Luke probably felt very bad about that, but hey, when you it's a war, right? Janek Sunber wakes with the taste of blood in his mouth. The sensation surprises him as it seems unconnected with my memory of why that would be. But the memories arrive, and when they do, wow, Luke must have really punched him really good. He wishes it were otherwise. Betrayed by his boyhood friend, by Luke Skywalker. So he's clenching his hat in his hands and he says, "Prisoner detail, this is Lieutenant Sunber. Do you read me? Rebels are in the base. Repeat, rebels are in the base." And then so basically he rats Luke out right there, right? And then so, they're hearing it on their comms. The rebels may be wearing stormtrooper armor. One of them is disguised as an Imperial lieutenant. He's blonde, about 1.7 meters tall. And here we go. So here we go. Here's Luke right here jumping in. He has the mission of saving the slaves, right? So freeing the slaves and taking them with him, right? So he is doing his mission right here. Consider him armed and dangerous, but try to take him alive if possible. So, his friend doesn't want him to die, but they will take him prisoner. And then so he basically lands on top of a stormtrooper here and basically smashes him down from his neck right here. And so now he's commencing to fight. Let the fight commence here. And he's drawn his saber here. Don't be afraid. I'm here to help. My name is Luke. And then he kind of stops. And then we have a realization. Most of the prisoners are from Jabim, a place where the name Skywalker is synonymous with betrayal. And he's like, so he doesn't give his last name because not everybody's going to know that since he's been on Jabim and all this stuff, that he's basically, redeemed the Skywalker last name. But not everybody's going to know about that just yet. And if you follow along, you would know what had happened there. And it's called In the Shadows of Our Fathers. And I recommend you read that after you read Battle of Jabim. It's a great story. Those two go well together. I'm with the Rebel Alliance. I'm here to rescue you. You're just a kid and you're all alone. How can you help us? And then Luke says, there are others, but we don't know you were here. And they're like telling him, troopers. More troopers are coming. So basically they're like, okay, let's get the hell out of here. And so Luke, he doesn't look too concerned here. And, we know this like 8 months after, Yavin. So he's, still learning. And, we do see him fail and stuff like that. So, he commences to fight with them, takes them down. There you go. And then you hear a voom like that. And then, so they're like astonished with what just happened. These guys are like, what the hell just happened, right? What had happened? And mind you, not everybody has seen a Jedi in a very long time. But Jedi in the lore here they're not myth. Not like in the new Star Wars. Jedis aren't a myth. They just haven't seen them in a very long time. Look, I can save you, but you have to come with me now. So basically, like, come on, let's get the hell out of here, right? Blast doors are sealed. We're cut off from the tanker. So now we have the rest of the group here, and they're trying to make it way to the tanker. They have Soul. Looks like the mission's over, Sarge. We're not finished yet, Abel. So Abel is kind of very negative for being a clone trooper from the Clone Wars. He's kind of negative here. Usually I've always seen the clones doing whatever possible, right? So let me know what you think about that. Captain, our path, and maybe he's just being more sensible. Maybe, I don't know. So Captain, our path to your location is blocked. We're going to try another way. And then he says, another way? What other way? So. And we, mind you, if you were following, they had to map out the base themselves, right? Because they didn't have, full details of the base. And so now we have Tank here, our Janek here. We'll hook up with, or that's not him. That's not him. Sorry. It almost looks like him. His hair is a little bit orange and Janek's hair is brown. We'll hook up with Skywalker. He could possibly use the help. See you back at the fleet, Captain. Basso, all right. Good luck. And so, Dina, get on the ship. We're going now. And then she says, hear that, R2. There's no time for you to find Luke. You have to come with us. So they have to get R2, in there. And R2 has always been loyal to the Skywalkers. We know that already. Especially Luke. There, set us down. Close that tanker. Close to that tanker. Sorry, excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and check chat, and I'm going to take a sip of coffee and see what's going on in here. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, exactly. Take a drink of coffee, OG, so you don't lose your voice. I know, right? Cheers to you guys. And Luke got that farmer strength. He sure does. He sure does. Let's see here. And order is good, but you got to have a little chaos if you or life would be boring, right? Life you have to have some struggles in life and stuff, right? Let's see here. I already read that one. And then Annihilus, the good old Skywalker punch works every time. Right. And Annihilus, missed opportunity for him to say Luke Skywalker as a Pisodium. There you go. There you go. All right, you guys. So please share the stream and like if you have not. And I do have merch. And it's from Redbubble, and I don't have it in my description below there, but it's from Redbubble. And I fail to advertise my merch. And so maybe I'll start sharing that and advertise it. I'm thinking of switching merch suppliers because I go through Redbubble right now. Maybe I'll switch to Teespring. I'm not sure yet. A lot of I have to be careful with like the Star Wars logo that I have in the corner of my it's not a Star Wars logo, but my logo. I got copyrighted for that on I think Redbubble or Teespring. I'm not sure which one. And because it looks too much like the original logo for Star Wars, I guess. I don't know, even though it's different. So that was weird. But I do have merch, you guys. So please support merch. I will try to pull that up here pretty soon. And also you can purchase copy of my Mistress of Rat Attack painting. I still have copies left. And even if I run out, I can always get reprints for you guys. You can guys get that in any size that you wish. There we go. Thank you so much, Soul Assassin. You're amazing. And then check out the story, right there of Jabim. Jabim is a great one. And then it helps you. Well, I want to say it helps. You don't necessarily need to read Battle Jabim to understand the shadows of our fathers, but they go great together. They do. They go great together. And Canadian Collector, hello, how are you doing? What's in your mug today? We are finishing up the 5-part little series from the Empire Comics called The Wrong Side of the War. And this is, it gives you a great Imperial perspective of what's going on and the conflict and everything. Yes. I see Aloha and I automatically think that you're spelling my name until I realize there's no R in there. That's how it's always been. Lemon ginger tea. I think I need that for my voice. I think I need some ginger with lemon, for my voice. All right. So let's move on because we're getting close to the conclusion here. And so Dina basically says, go back, no back talk, go lock in our course. And so, R2, he's classic. He's the little, he's just got his character. He's a little snide little guy. He likes to talk back. He's got great character. He's like my favorite droid. He's my favorite droid. And then all of a sudden she bumps into her friend, her with her little, her bow, I guess you could say. And, of course, we know him as Kale, basically, not Kyle, Kale. And she's like, Kale, Captain Rocher, you're alive, he says to her. Yes, despite your best efforts. And he goes on to say, you must have felt very clever warning me so openly, knowing that your warning would be ignored. And we know if you've been following along, they slept with each other. Yes, they did sleep with each other. It didn't show the act of sex, but they slept with each other. And no, I wanted to warn you. I had no choice. I had to follow orders. I never imagined I'd meet someone. So she fell into lust or whatever with him because she was attracted and they slept with each other. And then so because of that, she was willing to betray the Rebel Alliance in a way. And he goes, well, shut up. You wiped out my men. You nearly killed me. Now I'm going to. And then another explosion and boom, we have X-Wing come in just in time. All right. And then Rebel fighters. Then there's more to this than I thought. So basically he's like, okay, so they're realizing that the rebels really took them for everything they have, basically to rescue their friend, get fuel, all of that, and all that. And then also to mislead them to a base and into a trap. Man, so they really got that. So we're seeing both sides now. We're seeing both sides of the war here. Where there's one spy, there must be others. And so, he proceeds to attack her, I guess you can say. And then, of course, we have someone rushing in. Ugh. And so he punches him and he's all, Dina, get on the ship, power up the shields, go. So basically he helps her out just in the nick of time. And then so now we have the inside of the base with all the explosions and the fighting and all this stuff. And I think this is Luke's friend. We'll find out. It's all seems so unreal to Sunber. Yes, it is. Luke, I always say Sunber. It's Sunber. Luke, his friend, his companion in so many youthful adventures, is now his enemy. A part of him clings to a hope that it's all a mistake or that it's not too late to save the situation, to save Luke. So he feels like, because he feels like the Empire is the way, right? So if he can go and save Luke and bring him to the Empire, that everything will be good, right? But then he sees the bodies of the troopers, his troopers. When hope fades, duty abides. So there we go. So he's a good little soldier, right? And then again, so now we have the Rebel Alliance coming in the nick of time. I need anybody with piloting or navigation skills on the bridge. So that's Luke asking for help. Hurry, we don't have much time. And they're like, Luke. And then going somewhere, friend. And there we go. There is Tank right there. Planning on leaving without saying goodbye? Or were you hoping I die in the bombardment right here? So there we go. And so Luke's looking at his friend right here, Tank or Sunber. You don't, no, don't shoot. Get aboard. Everything's fine. So he's telling that to his friend. So he's like, don't shoot, get aboard. Everything's fine. Basically, come with me. I thought you were my friend, he tells Luke. I'm your friend. And that's why I know you won't shoot, Tank. No matter what side you're on, it doesn't change who you are. You know right from wrong. That's why you're going to let me finish my job. And then, so here's a lady that Klin was going to basically rape. There's no way around that, right? And she says, he's right. You helped my husband and me before. Will you undo all of that now? So she put some reasoning into Sunber too as well. And then Luke proceeds to say, let them go. They're prisoners, slaves, just like your own grandfather. Let me free them. Wow, that was kind of like a punch right there, because we know what Sunber feels like, with the empire enslaving humans as well because his grandfather was a slave. And then so he proceeds to say, when did you get so grown up, kid? When did you get so smart?" And Luke proceeds to say, "A lot has happened to me since I left home, Janek. I've had some really good teachers to help me get through it all. And I had friends like you when I was growing up. Tank, the Alliance needs good men. You could make a difference." And then Tank says, "Luke, I I'm already making a difference here with the Empire. It's not always easy, but we're bringing order, discipline to worlds that never." And then we get Skywalker. Is this is this tub ready for liftoff? So basically that they kind of break their little chat here. And then the rest of the group comes in. "Luke, we have to get out of here." While who's the imp? And he says, "It's all right. He's my friend." "You keep saying that, but you've been lying to me." And then, so he kind of shoves Luke a little bit. Tank does. "You're not here for the slaves. You're here to rescue a spy." And so, so he points his blaster at Soul. Soul's not a spy. He's not even a soldier. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. And he's like, "Lies, all lies." No. And let me go ahead and check out the chat here, you guys. Um, let's see here. Sleeping together instead of hand touching. Right. All right. Let's see here. And reminds me of Duty story from one of the Tells comics, right? And then classic Star Wars, love it. So do I. So do I. And then this is so deep and emotional, especially when Luke brings up Biggs being a rebel who died a rebel fighter. Right. I know. It's like it goes deep into the lore here. And, this is why these comics are also beautiful because, yeah, you're not going to see them emotion on screen, but you do see the visuals and you do see the expression and you do get the conversation between the two or between the people in the comics and stuff. And it just offers a lot of depth. And then let's see, Luke isn't Wormy anymore, right? And Darth Toriel, you became a member again, so she must have renewed because she was showing earlier that she was a member. I think so, yeah. So thank you so much. And again, everybody, I I just love it that you guys are subscribing to the channel, and I encourage you, if you can afford to, become a member, and you can have a chance to win a copy of some paintings in a painting project I'm doing. Um, this next one is the Son of Kifu, and I already shared that, and I'll share that again here pretty soon. And it's just a way of me giving back because you guys have supported my channel for so long, and it's my way of gratitude. And also, channel members, if you don't win a copy of it, you can get 10% off your purchase of a copy of a painting. And so just got to get a hold of me. And I will also put the discount code in the community section of my YouTube channel. And it will be only seen by channel members only. And you can proceed to go purchase a painting if you wish. So thank you guys so much for your support, whether you're subscribing or you're a channel member. I greatly appreciate every single one of you. Annihilus, Big's death sure left a hole with Luke and Rogue Squadron, especially Gavin. Right, especially when you get into the X-Wing series and they begin to talk about it, like Wedge, listening or reading him describing like those who died at Yavin, especially Biggs. Man, that is some emotional stuff right there. That is some good stuff. So if you haven't read the Rogue Squadron, I was gonna say Rogue Squadron series. Damn it, fuck you, Disney. The X-Wing series, then I recommend it so much. I highly recommend it. Highly, highly recommend it. Great stuff. And then we get to see the formation of the Wraith Squadron, which play um they're more of a spy stealth squadron kind of deal. They're and they're just a great squadron on their own. And so you get to see the formation of the Wraith Squadron as well and get to know the characters. So I recommend that as well, especially if you like um you want to know more about the X-Wing adventures and stuff and the fighting side, the fighters adventures and stuff. I recommend that so much. Darth Toriel growing in power. She's going to become a rival to my power. And he's got the, the the emoji faces and stuff. Darth Toriel. Yes, I love that. Our Dark Lord of the Elf. There we go. And then Sir John, oi ahoy, it's me, the OG fan. And I don't know if I said that right or not, so I'm sorry. And then Annihilus, I don't like the misabling of the X-Wing series, but I am glad it's getting an abridged. Yeah, that's one thing. I like the fact that a lot of our original EU novels are being reprinted, right? I don't like the banner, but at least they're getting reprinted. I don't really care for them getting the new covers. And maybe this is just the OG in me, I guess. And that's okay. That's okay. You like them. That's okay, right? I never said otherwise. And those who said I said otherwise, please come have a conversation with me. I will have you on my stream. We can talk this shit out. All right. So so the new covers that they're coming out with the essentials label, essential legends label, fine. I don't care for it, but at least they're getting reprinted. What I don't like is like the acknowledgement that the original books have when they acknowledge like George Lucas's help along with Lucasfilm, like Super Stony and all that is taken out of the book. I think that's dishonest of them to do that. I think they should keep it intact because that shares the history of how these books were made. People are interested in that history. They want to know how George Lucas helped with the creation of the EU. They do. But it's being taken out by the new company, and I think that's very dishonest of them to do. So let's get back into the comic here. I'm going to take a sip here. All right, Sir John, what is your favorite movie? What is your favorite movie nobody knows? Like movie as Star Wars movie or movie in general? So let me know. Because that's a broad question right there. Like if it comes to country and like modern like westerns, Tombstone. Hands down, the best. I can watch that, sit that and watch that. I love the characters. I love everything about it. It's so quotable too. All right, and let's see here. Annihilus, I'm almost done with Wraith Squadron, and Kel and Tyria are too cute for words. Right. I'm excited for you. All right. The new covers are very hit and miss for me. Yeah, that's what I'm getting. Very hit and miss. And there goes my voice. Swig of coffee for Star Wars gal. Yes. I'm getting into a sexy, raspy voice now, I guess. I don't know. All right. I think people know the Star Wars movies. Yeah. I mean, the ones I like are just in general. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. Canadian Collector Empire 12 is a good story to read before getting into the X-Wing series. Yes. And I can't wait to get into the X-Wing series, into the comics here. It's going to be fun. It's going to be loads and loads of fun. All right, so we are finishing up here, and it's kind of getting good because we have these friends that are on both sides of the war, and they both think that they're, each other, they're on the wrong side of the war, right? So we have that. So, you kind of get the title here. And so Tank goes to blast Soul. And basically, I'm guessing this is Luke saying it because he's saying Tank, no. And so he ignites his lightsaber and, blocks blocks the blaster bolt there. So there we go. And then and it does go back at him. It looks like him. Yeah. So it does get him in the arm. So he does retract it, and it does hit Tank in the arm here. And then so we have them saying, "We should board the ship, Sergeant." And then so Tank is holding his shoulder, and you can see, basically the smoke from the blaster hitting him in the shoulder. And he says, "And contact Wedge. Tell him not to shoot down the Imperial transport." And then Luke says to Tank, "Tank, I'm sorry, I never wanted this. Come with us. I can prove to you that the Alliance is where you belong." And Tank says, "I can't do it, Luke. You're on the wrong side of the war. Biggs would have agreed with me." So here we go, you guys. This is where it gets a little bit sad, emotional. And he's all, "Biggs." And he goes, "You said he died a hero, saving you at Yavin 4. So Luke now tells him what had happened. So here we go. "Tank, Biggs and I were fighting on the side of the Alliance. Biggs died so that I could destroy the Death Star." And then he walks away saying, "And he and I knew it was the right thing to do. I thought you would too." And then so we have him looking down. He's like rethinking himself. He's like, "Holy shit. Biggs is part of the Alliance. Luke destroyed the Death Star." So that's a lot to take in with some childhood friends that you grew up with. And so they leave on the tanker, the Imperial tanker here, and he's looking up at it. And then so a comm goes off. "Red Squadron, this is Imperial Transport Skywalker. Clear a path for us." And then it looks like this is Wedge right here. Already on it, Luke. So there you go. And then so we have them in there. This is the tanker. Nuna's twins were right behind you, Skywalker. Mission accomplished. Let's head for home. And so now they're leaving, and we have him down here like cursing at the universe basically about everything. And then Luke asks, "How's Joran?" And then they say, "They put him through hell physically and mentally, but he'll survive. It's you I'm worried about, sir. That lieutenant was your friend?" And he goes, "Yes. He's the second friend from home that I've lost to this war." That is sad. That is sad. And then so he's looking up at the tank, at the rebels as they leave. "Luke, damn you. The prisoner soul, where is he?" So they come running up behind Sunber, behind Tank. "He's gone." They all are. And so she asks, I think that's Zune right there. "You were here when they took him?" And he goes, "Yes, I had a shot at him, but..." "You shot at Soul? You didn't hit him, did you?" And he tells her, No, I had a shot at him, but I was wounded. I was unable to prevent the rebels from taking him." And she says, "Thank you. That will be all, Lieutenant. You should report to the infantry." He's all, "Yes, ma'am, but..." And then someone walks up here, "Captain." Oh, that's still Tank right there. So he says, "Captain, that will be all, Lieutenant. Everything is going according to plan." And that's like another word in Star Wars. Everything is going according to plan. So there you go. And then this goes on here. "The next days sees a flurry of activity. Reinforcements arrive almost before they called for, leaving Sunber to wonder where they were during the attack. That two intelligent officers dissuade Captain Rocher from bringing Sunber up on charges for the action he took against Klin. As always, the logic of military justice confounds Sunber. With Bacta treatments, his wounds heal quickly as the Empire repairs the base. But there is another wound that remains painful and raw. Yet he speaks of it to no one, for now it is his alone to bear, his alone to dwell on. Biggs Luke in a single day. Janek Sunber discovers that two of his friends are gone forever. His experiences have taught him to accept combat losses, but this is the first time he has ever lost anyone to the other side. And the first time he has ever had to call a friend an enemy. The end. So there you go. There you go. The wrong side of the war. We get to see, friendships being destroyed by being on the opposite ends of the war. It is a great comic to read, especially get an imperial perspective from Sunber and what's going on in others that he works with. Let me see here. And Ilis, he really tanked that shot, right? Right. There you go. And then Canadian Collector. I wish we had a EU book with Luke, Biggs, Tank, Cammy, and Fixer. Right. That would be fun. That would really be fun. Let's see here. Oh, you upgraded. Okay, that did not say that. Let me see here. I'll have to take a look at it because all it says is new member. It doesn't say upgrade on my end, and I don't have my other screen open. Thank you so much, Lady Tora. You're such a blessing. I love you. All right, Annihilus. Luke needs a hug, right? They all need a hug. And then, so why are the Imperials so fixated on me? Geez. Because you're amazing, Soul Assassin. You are amazing. All right. And let's see here. Canadian Collector Evangeline Lilly would make a great Bastilla Sean. Oh, I have never. Let's check that out. That's my one of my aunt's name is Evangelina. There we go. We're gonna check this out because I'm very curious. And if you I suggest following expandeduniverse.com. I believe that's the website. And I know that Tim, Open Airlock Policy, he does write. I've been wanting to write for that website, for the expandeduniverse.com or .net. I'm sorry if I got it wrong. But I haven't had a chance to. Let's see here. But he does a good job at given us actors who can best represent like Thrawn and all of them. And so he's been writing a little series about that. So I would suggest to go check that out. Let me see here. Let me get out of here. Evangeline Lilly. Let's go ahead and share that. Let's see. Oops, wrong one. There we go. I hate tabs. I swear to God, I hate tabs, but I'm going to share it through a tab. Let's see here. Chrome tab. Evangelina Lilly. So here we go. There's probably a better one right there. So there we go. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Evangeline Lilly would make a great Bastilla Sean. That'd be interesting. I would like to see. So I will be controversial, and this is my opinion. If I don't want to see Disney redo Couture in a movie series or in a series or in a movies, because they always bastardize these EU characters. Some people will say, oh, it's honoring them. I would like to say, I think it would be honoring them, but when you have to change the characters up significantly to fit into your lore, that's not honoring. You might as well just create a whole new character, right? And that's where I stand. And but that would be fun to see someone do like a fan film, a fan film kind of thing, like the one from Legacy of the Force, Invincible, with Jaina and her brother fighting. That would be something fun to see, something similar with Couture or any of the Knights of the Old Republic stuff. Let's see here. And let's see here, Canadian Collector, another story that brings out Luke properly caring for his friends, even if they're on the other side. Right. Jake would have ran and cried, seen Tank and Imperial, right? He would have tried to kill him, right? Because he tried to kill his nephew because his nephew had a bad dream and that he sensed the dark side on him. And he had that inkling of killing him. And so he, drew his lightsaber. So, he had the intent to kill, even though he didn't follow through, right? That's not the Luke we know. Annihilus, I want a moment where Han just goes, Thrawn, Thrawn, right? And that's a great read because, like, even when in the Thrawn duology, the Hand of Thrawn duology, they get, I think it's Lando who gets to see Thrawn again. I believe so. And stuff, and still they don't believe. It's like in the beginning for the Hand of, or the Thrawn trilogy, they don't believe that Thrawn is a Grand Admiral, and then they don't believe that he comes back, which he really doesn't. But in a sense, he doesn't. But still, Canadian Collector Benedict Cumberbatch as the voice for Plagueis and Michael Fassbender as Thrawn. Interesting. Okay, let's see here. Always figured that Yennefer actress from The Witcher would make a good Bastilla. Oh, yeah, I could see that too. Are you guys gonna watch Witcher when it comes out again, the series, the coming season? Let me know. I want to. I really do because I love the first one, and I'm just scared for the second one because of the direction they take these series and these shows and stuff. Thank you. Annihilus like Kirk yelling "Khan!" right? And then Canadian Collector, I don't want to see Disney redo EU live action either. I'm just dreaming though if it happens. And let's see here, Annihilus. I'll admit I would like Couture remake in gameplay only. Like give it to Kingdoms of Amular style combat system. That would be sweet. Well, they did announce that they were going to do a remake. So let me know what you feel about that. And then agreed, Disney shouldn't go near Old Republic, but it's always fun doing a casting list. Henry Cavill could make a good XR Coon. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You think so? You think I always seen XR Coon a little shorter and more stout than Henry Cavill. But then I don't know. That's interesting. But when I could see Henry Cavill as Kip Duran. I can. That's interesting. All right, let's go on. Okay, so anybody who knows Corn Horn, who do you think would make a good Corn Horn? Soul Assassin, I made my Sith Marauder look like Cavill. Oh, cool. I love this. All right, and Snail Messiah, hello, what's up? I'm going to watch, but I'm so deeply afraid of what they did with it, especially after what Henry Cavill said about it. I didn't get too much into like what Henry said and what it was said. I just seen a couple of the trailers and that's all. So now I'm a little bit afraid as well. Oh Lord. Witcher guest starting The Witcher. Or starring, not starting. Witcher guest starring The Witcher. And then Annihilus, as long as they don't touch the story and make the combat less clunky, I do like the D&D style combat of the original, but okay. And then fuck Norris, hello. I wouldn't mind if they made a more difficult couture. The original was great, but you were overpowered. Yeah, and I think that was George Lucas's focus, is that he wanted fans to be able to do whatever they wanted to do, in a sense, I guess you could say. And that characters in games are more powerful than the characters in the books and the novels and stuff. And so that was kind of a focus for the company, just to make it fun for the player, I guess. You can do and be as powerful and reach higher power levels than it was deemed in canon. Annihilus, just don't make the remake of the gameplay like Dark Souls. Not every game needs to be that. And then Annihilus only overpowered by the end, especially in the second game. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of debates with KOTOR on like 1 and 2, and then SWTOR, and all that. And with Revan and the Exile, and then even like I've seen one just recently that I was involved in on Twitter that basically saying that Drew Carpathian doesn't know his character Revan and that he ruined what Chris set up in the sequel. And I'm like, yeah, he knows his character. That's why he probably stayed along the line of how he wanted Revan to be. So I don't know. And that's Snail Messiah. The Witcher changed a lot about the world, but what about the Witcher book club? I'd be down. Maybe in the future. This is predominantly a George Lucas era Star Wars YouTube page, but I'm not closed-minded to not, bring in other like series to review and have fun with, just to have a little switch up. Soul Assassin, OG, the animated Witcher film was pretty good. I'm cautiously optimistic, but about the next season. Yeah, that's me too. And I'm excited, but I'm very cautious about that. I don't know. I'm afraid to watch, but I like the first one. So I think I'll watch the whole series again and then prep myself for the coming season. Canadian Collector. I'm reading the EU book Honor Among Thieves. Not every book needs to be groundbreaking like the Bane trilogy. It can just be fun classic Star Wars. Yeah, that is a fun classic one. And Honor Among Thieves, thieves, fleas, thieves, is a fun one. And we have Han in there, and we get Han and Leia's interaction and all that stuff. So it's a fun one. Darth Bandon still sucks a boss and always will. Use my dead party members to heal himself. Boy. Okay. Yeah. Yes. And then Soul Assassin, I heard that Carpathian didn't like the Exile or what Avalon did to the sequel game. That's what I heard too. But if someone's like, Drew doesn't know his characters and what Chris, what they were setting up in the sequel KOTOR 2, he ruined because he don't know his character, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. So, and that was like the little crying on Twitter or whatever, and I'm like, what are you talking about? First of all, Drew Carpathian is the one that created Revan and that storyline, really. And they trusted Chris into making the sequel game. And mind you, the games are like S canon. So the play and how you play it is not canon. The default, yeah, it is canon because it has to, and the books, and then it refers to the books. However, the games are not necessarily fully canon. And that's the thing. So, and that was part of my argument here. Is like, no matter what direction that went in a part 2, like the sequel, that's not necessarily canon. And Drew does understand his character, and that's why he stayed true to how he was writing Revan, right, in the games and so forth. So I felt like Carpathian was bound by what LucasArts wanted for the Old Republic, and one of the things they wanted was Revan to be alive. Yeah, I mean, and that's that. I guess it makes for story and what he was doing, I guess, So I mean, like it or leave it, it was there. 9021666. And then Canadian Collector, let's go Darth Bandon. Let's go Bandon. Let's go Darth Bandon. All right. And Soul Assassin, the Twitter guy is a dimwit for crying about Carpathian, right? Carpathian friggin' he was amazing in opening that storyline and opening of Darth Bane and all that. He was amazing with Knights of Old Republic, and I like what he did. And mind you, when we start arguing about the games, we have to realize that the games are S canon because how you play is not necessarily what happened in the novels and stuff. And that's what makes the games fun, is because you can make up your story. You can make up your mission, right? And have fun with it. And that's what it's all about. Okay. And Annihilus, I don't want KOTOR film. KOTOR should remain a game in my opinion. I agree with that. All right, you guys. So let's start wrapping up here. thank you guys for hanging out with me. Like I said, I'm solo today. Stig is still healing up and he's been sleeping. And, I understand after surgery, you could still feel not 100% even a few weeks after. And so, I send out some well wishes for him and, continued healing vibes as well. So we are going to decide which comic we're going to head to next. And I have a feeling that we'll be getting into X-Wings here soon. So I'm very much excited about that. And also, we are for literature review, and I keep on forgetting to mention this, speaking of the Old Republic era, not trying to avoid it whatsoever, but we are in the process of reading, and then we'll review I think it's on the 1st of December. Me and a panel will review this novel here and discuss it in depth. So we're on Deceived by Kemp right here. So if you have not read it, you still have time to pick it up. It's not that big of a novel, but it's a very fun read. If you have read it, then pick it up again and join along. And the Audible is unabridged. So you get the whole entire novel on Audible. So if you're the kind of person that's been very busy and we're coming into the holidays, so I understand Thanksgiving's coming around, all of that, then pick up the Audible and then, listen to it. It's unabridged. So you get the whole story. And so again, I believe it's December 1st that we're going to review. I will post that on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter as well to get updates for the channel and also my community page here on YouTube. I try to post both there and here on my YouTube channel on what's going on with the channel. And so go ahead and pick up the book and I will announce exactly. We are looking at tentatively December 1st for the review of Deceived. And if you have any questions about it, follow me on Twitter. And I recommend this is about, George Lucas era Star Wars. It's about getting everybody interested in the novels or revisiting the novels. That's the whole point of the literature review. So please follow along. And I need to post at least a clip or something regarding the novel to, to get everybody excited. Let's see here. Have you read Mall Lockdown? Underrated novel, but I thought it was a great R-rated book. I read Shadowhunter. I haven't read Lockdown. Maul was not necessarily one of my favorite characters, so I really didn't pick up his novels. However, we did review Shadowhunter for literature review, and so that's kind of changed my mind about Maul. So I still have to catch up on his standalone novels. So I will do that eventually. Annihilus, the fan series by Kaiden Sentry. Yeah, that one is awesome. And so let's see, haven't played the MMO, only listened to the books, and Malgus is dope. Malgus, not Malagus. Malgus is dope. Yeah. And I think I will share a clip, and I think I will share an EU short from the novel on my YouTube page here. So stay tuned for that. Imagine the game character like Revan and Kyle remembering every time they died due to player ineptitude. Right? That's the fun part of games right there. All right. So thank you guys so much for being here with me and following along in the comic. I appreciate your support. Thank you, Lady Toriel, for upgrading your membership. You are just a blessing in this community. Thank you so much for being here and supporting our channels. For everybody that subscribed and our members, you guys are amazing. And remember, channel members, that if you attended today, your name will be entered to win for a chance to win a copy of Son of Kifu. And that drawing will be in January. So I look forward to that. I can't wait to get this image, this painting done, and to share with you guys that you can order prints and all of that. So, and it's going with the collection that I'm doing right now. So I'm pretty excited about that all. And thank you guys again. Anything else coming on with my channel? Other than posting lore shorts and all that, I probably will see you guys next Thursday here on the channel for coffee chat. So stay tuned for that, and may the force be with you, and you guys have a great day.